Well, our 20th year on the homestead is coming to a close. As we leave 2024 behind us, I thought we'd talk about what we might consider our biggest tip for starting a homestead in 2025. Stick around.
Oh, it's a wondrous life, living off the land, what God has provided.
2024 was filled with lots of new projects around the homestead. And as you can see here, we are finishing up our new raised beds. There will be, I think, a total of 7 or 8 of them here. And unfortunately, that didn't get completed in time for my fall garden, but that's okay. Things like that happen on the homestead and you just kind of roll with the punches. So hopefully in the next few weeks, we shall be wrapping this up. Also, most of 2024, our entire upstairs of the house was under renovation. If you've ever lived through a renovation, you know what a nightmare that can be. But we're almost finished. We are 98% complete. And I'll give you a little sneak peek. We don't really have any footage of the renovation happening up here, but I do have some pictures of what it looks like now. This is one of the upstairs guest bedrooms that we have. We ripped all the carpet out upstairs and we put this, I think it's like a luxury vinyl flooring down. And then my brother-in-law made us new closet doors. These are barn doors here. And this is our upstairs bathroom that was renovated. We got a new vanity and a new cast iron tub and some subway tile. And the other guest bedroom. And this is where my husband plays his guitar. So you'll see his music stand and guitar there. And the office, which is still not complete. We have to paint the cabinets. And that's it. That's the upstairs of the cabin. Also in 2024, we had to deal with bats in the attic. So we had to have bat removal this past summer, which was a nightmare, might I just add. And we also, of course, are having our new barn built up in John Boy's Meadow. We just had our front fence completed. We've had dozer work on the property done down by the creek. And also our hunting camp was completed this year, which is down by the creek. And we also had our installation for our manual pump out at our well. And if you haven't seen that video yet, I'll link that for you right up here so that you can watch it. It's been a busy 2024. So when we moved here 20 years ago, I don't think we knew that we were going to be homesteading. I just think we knew that we were ready to get out of the rat race, so to speak. We were raising 3 young boys, and at the time we were living in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I think it was right around when Hurricane Katrina hit, with the influx of traffic and just chaos that came into the city. And I was working full-time as a registered nurse. My husband was working full-time. The kids were, at that time, they were in a private school in Baton Rouge. And our world just became very chaotic, much more than it was. And we decided we were ready for a change. We already had the property up here in Mississippi. It was kind of a weekend getaway. There was nothing out here. There was no barn, no house, no camp. If we wanted to camp, it was done in tents. So after a lot of discussion, we decided we were ready and we were going to make the move. We bought an RV. We built a barn on the property. And we lived in our RV in the barn for a full year while the house was being built. I still worked as an RN for a hospital about 45 minutes away, but I ended up going down to less than part-time, or PRN, and I worked nights, 2 nights a week. So while I was gone, Michael was in charge of the kids. But that allowed us to do things differently. During the day, he was at work. He was still at that time commuting to Baton Rouge. And I was able to homeschool the boys and still work, a couple of nights a week at the hospital. And again, I don't think we realized that we were at that time starting the homesteading journey. Just knew that we were wanting to do things differently. So we started growing gardens, planted some fruit trees. We got a dog or 2. We got some rabbits. My husband bought a tractor. And fast forward 20 years and we are full out homesteading. What we don't grow ourselves as far as crops, and what we don't raise ourselves as far as meat, we shop local. We have local farmers that we deal with, local dairies, and a butcher shop. And when I look back over the past 20 years, I think the biggest tip that we could have for you in 2025 to start homesteading is to just start. Wherever you are, if it's on 1 acre, 40 acres, 100 acres, in the city, in the country, with kids, without kids, you're in your 20s or in your 50s, just start. Because if not now, when? So I'm going to head into the house and do some baking. And I'm going to take you along with me because it's just a few weeks away from Christmas. And I'm going to make some gingerbread cookies. So the cookies I'm going to make today are gingerbread cookies, and they're actually made using some sourdough discard. And if you want that full recipe, you can check out Farmhouse on Boone by Lisa Bass, because that's where I got the recipe from. And I've tweaked it a little bit just to suit my taste, which I always tend to do. The first time I make a recipe, I make it totally step-by-step how the author presented it. And then the next time I make it, I change up a few things and just kind of tweak it until I like the way it's turned out. So here we go. I'll be sure and link the recipe in the show notes below for you. Thanks for joining us, friends. If you're looking to start homesteading in 2025, we hope we've inspired you to jump right in with both feet and just start. Whether you're 20 years old or 50, living on 1 acre or 100, there's no magic formula. Start cooking from scratch, get a couple backyard chickens, plant a few vegetables. Before you know it, 20 years will have passed and you will have been homesteading. Best of luck and Merry Christmas from our family to yours.